Hello and welcome to the AI with Arun show. For the last 20 years, big tech treated electricity like a utility bill. You just pay it and the lights turn on. But that era is over. Generative AI has broken that model. Today, we are breaking down why Alphabet just spent $4.75 billion not on chips, not on software, but on a company called Intersect Power. This is the story of how Google is trying to secure the future of AI by physically owning the electrons that power it. To understand this deal, you have to understand the bottleneck. For the last decade, tech companies signed virtual PPAs. Basically, they paid a solar farm to put clean energy onto the grid, and then they pulled dirty energy off the grid elsewhere. And the accountant said, look, we are net zero. But AI doesn't care about accounting. AI needs physical power 24 by 7 right now. The problem? The US electrical grid is full. There is a queue of energy projects waiting to connect to the grid that is over 2000 gigawatts long. If you try to build a power plant today using the normal method, you might wait 5 to 7 years just for permission to plug it in. Google cannot wait 7 years to launch Gemini 3.0. That is the crisis this deal solves. So here is the solution. Alphabet is acquiring Intersect Power for $4.75 billion. But they are not just buying energy contracts, they are buying the developer itself. They're targeting a massive pipeline of 10.8 gigawatts of power by 2028. To put that in perspective, 1 gigawatt can power about 750,000 homes. Google is trying to secure enough power for millions of homes just for their AI. This is a shift from energy procurement to energy sovereignty. They want to control their own destiny. Now, here is where Wall Street got confused, and you need to pay attention. Google paid nearly $5 billion, but they did not buy the power plants that are currently running and making money. Those assets, about 2.2 gigawatt, stayed with the old investors like TPG. So, what did Google pay for? They paid for the DevCo, the development company. They bought the team, the land rights, and the permits. So why pay a premium for a company with no operating assets? The answer is time. Google is valuing time certainty. By owning the developer, they can skip parts of that 7 year line I mentioned earlier. In the AI race, saving 2 years is worth way more than $5 billion. This deal is also a masterclass in dodging regulation. If Google owned the power plants that sell electricity to your house, they would be regulated as a public utility under a law called PUHCA. Google does not want to be a utility. They want to move fast. By buying only the factory that builds the plants and not the plant that sell power to the public, they avoid that heavy regulation. They are building this specifically to power their own data centers, keeping them legally defined as a tech company, not a power company. There is another problem with the old ways of doing things: conflicting incentives. A power plant developer wants to move slow and safe to make money. A data center builder wants to move fast to train AI. They usually fight. Sundar Pichai, Google's CEO, said the goal here is to build in lockstep. By owning the developer, Google can align the construction schedules perfectly. They can make sure the solar panels turn on the exact same week the GPUs are installed. No more waiting, no more idle expensive chips sitting in the dark. Now, there is a technical heart of this whole strategy, which is called behind the meter, or BTM. Usually, a power plant is far away and it sends electricity through the big grid to the city. Google is skipping the grid. Look at this picture. They are building the solar and the wind farms physically next to the data centers. They connect directly. This bypasses the transmission congestion and the years of permitting required to build new power lines. They're bringing the data center to the power, not the power to the data center. Let's look at where this is actually happening. So this is Haskell County in Texas. This is the prototype for the future. It's ERCOT territory. They are combining solar for the daytime, wind for the night, and massive batteries to smooth it all out. Because they are behind the meter, they can operate almost like an island. If the main Texas grid has issues, Google's AI keeps training. Now, this is my favorite part of the story because it shows you how ruthless the economics of AI are. Intersect originally planned a project called Maitner. It was going to use wind and solar to make green hydrogen. But recently, they scrapped the hydrogen plan entirely. Why? Because an electron is worth 10 times more if you use it to power ChatGPT or Gemini than if you use it to make hydrogen fuel. AI is literally cannibalizing the green hydrogen industry. The Meitner project is now 100% focused on powering data centers. But wait, the sun doesn't shine at night and AI runs 24 by 7. So, how do you solve that? The answer is batteries, and that too, the massive ones. Intersect is one of the largest buyers of Tesla Megapacks in the world. We are talking about 17.7 gigawatt hours of storage. That's enough to run a massive AI cluster through the entire night. These batteries perform firming. They take unreliable weather based power and turn it into the steady, flat line of power that sensitive server requires. So it's not all smooth sailing. There is a war brewing in Washington. Recently, Amazon tried to plug a data center directly into a nuclear plant. The regulators said no because it took existing power away from the grid, which raises prices for grandma. Google is using a different argument called additionality. Google says, hey, we aren't stealing power, we are building new solar farms that did not exist yesterday. They believe this argument will save them from the fees that Amazon got hit with. It's a risky legal bet, but it's a main shield. Now let's look at the rivals. Microsoft is betting on the nuclear renaissance. They signed a deal to restart 3 Mile Island. The pro, it runs 24 by 7 without batteries. The con, it takes years. Restart a nuclear plant and the safety regulations are a nightmare. Microsoft is betting on base load, steady power, no matter how long it takes. Then you have AWS, Amazon. Their strategy has been buy the plant. They tried to buy the Talon Energy nuclear campus. And as we mentioned, this got blocked by regulators because it's viewed as resource shifting. Amazon is trying to buy scale immediately, but they're hitting a regulatory wall because they are not adding new power fast enough. So here's the summary cheat sheet for you. You may want to take a screenshot of this. So Microsoft is doing nuclear restarts, reliable but slow. Amazon is trying to buy existing power, fast but regulatory heavy. Google is doing vertical integration, building new solar and storage themselves. Google's bet is that they can build a solar farm in Texas faster than Microsoft can restart a nuclear reactor in Pennsylvania. It's a race for speed. We are witnessing the birth of a new industrial stack. Energy is no longer a commodity, it's a product feature, just like the silicon chip. Alphabet spent $4.75 billion dollars because they realized that in the age of AI, the winner is not just the one with the best algorithm. The winner is the company that can turn sunshine into inference tokens the fastest. Google did not just buy a power company, they bought the machine that builds the machine. With that, we come to the end of the show. Please become a subscribing member of the channel. All you have to do is go to the bottom of the description and you'll see the link for becoming a subscriber. And please like, share, and subscribe to the AI with Arun show.